So he's holding Bob with the gun right to his head. He threw that patch on, make it look like he was in a club, but he was never in a club.
They want to be able to tack like 15 felonies upon jaywalking across the street. This outlaw motorcycle member and it doesn't matter what they stack on you.
Because they're a friend or they know somebody and they start hanging them around and making them official hang around. Next thing you know, they're prospecting. Before you know it, they got a patch and I'm going, you've never been in a club.
His dad was a bandito. He borrowed $100 from the club. It might have been 1,000. I don't know. But his own son was 86.
I think it was from that point on, I was like, one day, I'm going to be one of those guys.
And he said, if you don't get on a stand, you're going to lose. You're going to jail. I said, I can't take the stand.
Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today I got Repo, Rod, and What's up, guys?
What's up?
Hey, what's happening? There we are.
Like that intro? You like the new intro?
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
I can't testify, man. So today I want to talk to you guys about, there's a lot of talk in the news recently about this Aurora, Colorado, and bikers going to save the day out in Aurora. And I want to know what's you guys' opinion on that whole situation.
A joke. I think it's a joke. I mean, those guys wouldn't come out of those clubhouses unless they were burnt out.
Yeah. Like I had spoke with Bill last week, I think, on it, and I said it's total. There's no benefit in it for them, and it has nothing to do with club business. They ain't going anywhere.
Right.
You get a 15, 20 of them go out there that are already felons. What's the first thing that's going to happen to them? They're going to be a $5 million world assessment going on for stupidity that had nothing to do with anything, so they're not going to get their money. They're just going to sit and rot.
You see how the rumor snowballed into something crazy?
Oh, yeah. I just got sick of the phone calls, bro.
Yep.
Everybody was calling me, asking me, is it true? Is it true? I go, stop. I stopped answering my phone.
Have you ever seen them band together against anything in the past?
No, not even their enemies.
No.
The only time they'll band together against their enemy is when the enemy makes the first move and jumps up,
Yeah.
But they don't go out of their way to go find anybody or to do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
They're still living off of what the guys did back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Yep. Now you got it right on the head, Peewee.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were saying
the original structure of the club that these other guys built. These newer ones, not all of them, but a lot of, they're riding a coattail. They're riding the coattails, nothing else.
You said
I agree.
When the Proud Boys were something was going on with the Proud Boys. You were saying, Peewee. Remember they had some beef with the Proud Boys or something. They were going to come and handle business.
No, what it was? Remember when all that Black Lives Matter bullshit was going on? They were going to go take care of Antifa, whatever you call it.
Oh yeah,
Antifa.
Yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
Another phone call. Another
story.
Rumor that one. Another story. Right. That sums it right up.
And did you see that they released a statement to the public?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It probably took them somebody who finished college to write that and figure out what to say. It was halfway intelligent. And I read it and I said, God damn, nobody in the club could have wrote that.
I'm like, damn, these are some big words, man.
Yeah.
That was a paid speech.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, did George Christie write this or something?
George is a good writer, Here, George. He's a good storyteller, man. He's got a lot of stories to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, what happened? What happened to Big Jeremy, man?
I think he was wrapped up with a tattoo.
Yeah, he might have been doing that. Yeah, I could see him doing that. Probably get him busy. I haven't seen him in a while, so it would have been cool to see him on here and talk to him.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, he's a great storyteller too.
I ever get out his way, I'll keep him busy for a full day.
Yeah,
I'll keep him busy for a full day. I ever get out here. I got a little bit of room yet to fill out.
Yeah, Jeremy's a big boy, man. He's a big man.
How big is he?
Well, he's heavier than me now. You know, I mean, he's heavier than me, but he's not as tall as me. I think Jeremy's probably about 6'5", 6'6". He's pretty big. I know he's got to weigh what I used to weigh, like 450 or something. You know, I mean, I weigh like 320 now. You know. Did
it shock you when he became a bandito?
Yeah. Yeah, it did. Yeah, because, you know, Jeremy's got a good heart, man. His heart's as big as his body, man. And he's got a good heart. He was always a good friend to me. Always a good friend. And I used to like riding around with him. Here we got Repo Rod with us. And Jeremy used to be a repo guy. So he had one of these tow trucks. And, you know, he'd pull up, run the numbers. Boom, it was a car. He'd hook underneath it. Bam, up on the rack.
Yep.
I'd be sitting in the passenger seat laughing my ass off, man. Some of these people come running out with guns in their hands, right? And I go, man, what do you do? I said, what do you do, bro? He said, I just get out and talk to him, and I calm him down and shit like that. And I tell him, hey, if you give me the keys to the car, it makes it easier. He says, I'll give you all your shit out of the car. He'll let you take all your crap out of the car, you know?
Yeah,
but most of the people, you know, most of them would just get pissed off and say, and run off. And bro, we take the car. He jimmy the lock up, boom, pop it open. We go through the car. There'd be like 200 CDs in there. There'd be a handgun, nunchucks, you name it, bro. I was there when he found it. But that's what he was doing. He was repoing. It was funny as fuck, man. I had fun with him, man. But he wanted to join a club.
How'd you get the name Repo, Rod?
I used to repo too.
It's fun, man.
I'll tell you
I would have done it.
The best repo I ever had was a Harley. I go out to snatch this thing. Now, even though I didn't like those guys, they were still a 1% motorcycle club. And it was a 16s motorcycle. I actually unlatched it and let it stay, man. I as much as I really didn't care for those guys at that time, I still let his bike stay, man. Because, Peewee, you as well as I know how goddamn expensive it is to be a Hell's Angel. The amount of money it costs you to be a member. And I can remember being on the balls of my ass sometimes when them assessments would come through. Like, bam, bam, bam. And I just didn't have the heart to take his motorcycle. But, I used to love going to all the motorcycle events and just walking around. I'd park the truck 15 blocks away and I'd go to the motorcycle events and walk around and just look at VIN numbers. Because I knew somewhere I was going to find that money. And if I found 4 or 5 bikes there, I'd call a guy up that had a flatbed and tell him to come down and wait. I'll snatch them, run them down the street to you in a lot, drop them, you put them on your truck. I'm going back to get another one. And sometimes, if it was a big event, you might get 5, 6, 10 bikes out of that place in one day. That was one hell of a payday.
Yeah, I bet.
What do you hook it right to the tow truck? Lift it right off the ground and drive it away?
Yeah, you grab it right on it and go down the road with it. You can take a motorcycle with a repo truck in 30 seconds. You're out of there.
How many repos have you been on, Peewee?
I went on about 4 of them, 4 or 5 of them with Jeremy. And we just ride around, and that's when I was a big guy too. So we'd ride around, eat, drink. I don't know how many sodas. We'd have those big gulps. We probably drink 4 or 5 of those a night. We ride around all night just grabbing cars, man. It was hilarious, bro. I'm telling you.
Okay.
It's almost like a rush, adrenaline rush, you know? It reminds me back of the days when we used to steal shit, like motorcycles and stuff, and you got that rush from it. Well, this time we were legally stealing. I had the same rush, so it was pretty cool.
You guys got any stories from when you would steal bikes a long time ago?
I got, well, you know, I didn't do it. I didn't do it as a Hell's Angel. I don't think Repo probably did either. But when I was in a Sinners motorcycle club, yeah, we grabbed probably about 4 or 5 of them, you know, at the time. I almost got shot on the last one.
Remember.
I swear to God, man, I almost got shot.
Yeah.
Why you got caught? The guy came up.
Yeah, the guy caught us, man, and it was weird because I was out on probation for stealing some other shit at a hardware store. We cleaned out a hardware store. We took everything, bro, except the nuts and the bolts. And I was selling it, and I got caught. I was the one that got caught. And I was the one that got the jail time, the fine, and everything. I just kept my mouth shut, and I didn't tell the other 2 guys. When they wanted the other 2 guys more than they wanted me. So one of the guys, he was like the bike thief, and he was like a big bike thief in the town in Milwaukee. And he says to me, "Hey man," he said, "Let's go grab this bike that's in this underground." This is in my book. I wrote this story in my book. We went there, and it's funny because the keys, he had a ring of keys, and Repo will remember this. Remember the little tiny keys, Repo, that they had for Sportsters? And you could buy a ring of them. They go like, I think 1 to 12 or 1 to 20. And I swear to God, man, you buy that ring and you could try them in every Sportster, and one of them was going to work. Well, those keys would work in the underground basements to these apartment buildings, and he would turn it and the door would open up and we'd drive in, you know? Well, this time I parked down the street, and I told you I was on probation. So if I got caught, I was going right to the penitentiary. And we got down there, and I should have knew something was wrong because he goes, "Yeah, this is some old this old shovel head, wide glide, whatever it was." And we got down there, it was a brand new Evo motor in this bike. It was a brand new Evo. So I walked down and I said, "This doesn't look like no shovel head to me." He said, "Hey, the guy must have bought a new bike." Yeah, he bought a new bike because somebody stole the other one.
Yeah.
So this one he had down there, and this one he had alarm on. You know, he had the alarm on it.
Yeah.
And we didn't know it, but when we got up to the bike, I grabbed it and I pulled it over so he could cut the lock off of it. And when I pulled it over, bro, I had this bad gut feeling, and Repo will tell you, man, in our business, man, if you got a gut feeling, you got to go with it, bro. So I had a bad gut feeling on this one. And the first words out of his mouth was, "Oh, don't be scared, man. Ever since you got caught, you're scared." Well, I said, "Hey, you're not the one on probation. You're not the one on probation. I am. So if I get caught, I'm going to prison. You're probably going to be put on probation. I'm already there."
Yeah.
So I had the bike. I had a bad feeling, Billy. I had a really bad feeling. I said, "Hey, man, I don't feel right about this. I don't feel right." And he goes, "Man, will you stop being a..." And all of a sudden, I could hear in a distance these keys jingling. You know, it sounded like this. Like that, keys running.
As he's running after your ass.
And I said, "Hey, man, what the hell is that?" And I put the bike back down on the kickstand, And I swear to God, I just took off. Now, the underground basement went like this. You know, you could either go left or go right. You had two ways to go down like that. And we were right by the door. That's where the bike was. So I took off running this way toward the end of the building. And I only ran down about 4 or 5 car lengths. And I heard the guy come through the door. And I heard him yell, "Freeze, you motherfuckers, I got you." Well, when I heard him say that, he didn't see me yet. So I ducked down between the cars and I hid between the cars. And I was laying on the ground there and I was looking underneath the cars trying to see. And he grabs a hold of my buddy and he puts a 44 Magnum to his head, you know? And he says, "You son of a bitches, you stole my last bike. Now you came for this one." And he goes, "But I put an alarm on it." He goes, "I put an alarm on it under the seat. And now I caught you." Well, I'm looking, man. He said, "I called the cops. They're on their way." As soon as I heard that, bro, I knew that was my cue to get the hell out of there. So I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna have to get up and run for that door. And that door was probably about 30 yards away from me. And I said, "Oh man, am I gonna make it to that door?" I never said I was no, speed runner or Jesse Owens or anything like that. So I was a big boy then, and I said, "Man, I got to get to that door." So he's holding Bob with the gun right to his head. And I'm thinking, man, maybe he'll get excited, shoot Bob, and I can get away, you know? So I take off running, bro. And it was one of those deals when you're running, your legs feel like they're rubber. Yeah,
slow
you ain't moving.
motion. It's like slow motion, right? It's like a dream.
Well, yeah, and I'm like, what? I'm like, what the hell? I can't run any faster than this. And as I'm running, he yells out, "Stop, you mother!" Boom, and he shoots. Bro, I can't even describe here on this show the sound that 44 Mag made in that underground basement. It sounded like a cannon. Boom, boom, boom. And I'm running, right? Like this. And the bullet goes right past my ear and I hear it. I hear the bullet. And it goes. And I thought, man, that was too close for comfort. And I didn't think he was that good of a shot. I think he just missed me. I think he was aiming to kill me. I think he was going to shoot me. So I get to the door. It's a big steel door. It says exit. I grab the door. I turn the knob. I pull the door open. He shoots at me again. The bullet hits the door while I'm holding it. It slams the door shut right out of my hand. That's how powerful the bullet was. And yes, once again, I heard a bullet go by, this time the left side of my head. And I saw the hole in the door, and it wasn't a hole that I wanted inside of me, you know? So I said, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I opened the door. I ran up the stairs. I ran. Well, I was running and running and running. I didn't even know where the hell I was running to. I was just running through yards, jumping over fences. And then I started running, and there was this big grass field, which I thought it was grass. But they had a big, giant swimming pool in the ground, and they had a green cover over it. And I was running right for it, bro. I was going to go right into the pool. And all of a sudden, this big, great thing comes running out of the house to bite me. So the dog scared me away. The dog scared me away from the pool. I turned left to run the other way, and the dog ran into the pool and went underneath the tarp, you know? So I run, I jump over the fence, and then I run down, I run. Bro, I'm telling you, this is like almost like a fairy tale story that it was so unreal. I run to this green fence, and it had about a 2-foot gap under the fence. So I laid on the ground, I rolled, I made it under. I'm running. I look down, because in the grass I could feel cement, like rocks. I looked down on the ground, and you know what they were? They were gravestones. They were all in the ground. They were all in the ground. I was running through a cemetery.
An old one.
And there was no above ground markers. They were all down. The guy cuts the grass. He cuts the grass over the stones, everything. So,
yep.
I don't know if you guys are going to believe this or not. I'm going to say it because, honest to God, it really happened on my skid, man. I put it in my book, like I told you. I was running, and I didn't know where I was. And I could hear this woman's voice in my ear. She says, "Charlie, turn now." Didn't tell me what way to turn. I just heard this lady's voice say, "Charlie, turn now." And I turned to my left, and I went running, and there was these bushes about 10 feet tall. And I run up to the bushes, and I pull them apart, and I look, swear to God, Bill, on my skin, I couldn't even make this up to you. My car was sitting right there on the street in front of me. Yeah. Yeah. And I told you I parked 2 blocks away when we walked. How did I come out right there by my car, man? Tell me that ain't weird. So I go to the front and I look down the street. Now there's like 5 cop cars down there, and they're all standing out in the street. So what am I going to do, bro? Come walking out between the buildings, get in my car and go? I don't think so. I'm a little smarter than that. So I go to the back of the building. I check the door. It's open. I go inside. It's a 4-family duplex, right? Yeah. I go down in the basement. I walk to the front. I go up the stairs. I open the door and I walk out like I lived there. I walked to my car, turned the door, got in, started up the car, drove away, went around the block. I saw this big sign say Pine Lawn Cemetery. And that's where my grandma's buried.
Wow.
And I got these chills, and it gave me like the creep, But it was like my grandma saving my life. And hey. I never took another bike again.
How old are you? How old?
Probably, I would say I was probably 28, 29.
How many holes did your friend have?
How many holes? Oh, wait. So I'm glad. I'm glad you brought that up. You're not going to believe this. So as I'm running through the yards, I hear boom, boom, 2 shots. And all of a sudden I'm running. I'm thinking, who the fuck is he shooting at? He had Bob, right? He had the gun right to Bob's head. So I'm thinking, it doesn't matter. Bob's dead now anyway. But I said, wow. I said, I hope he shot Bob. Because in my world, bro, like Repo knows.
He did with you.
Right, like Repo knows, we're so used to snitching on us or telling. So I was thinking, if they kill Bob, I'm free.
Yeah.
I'm free, bro. So I get home the next day. Remember, now this is back in the early 80s. When I get home, there's no cell phones. He calls my house phone, right? I pick it up. Hello. He goes, "Hey, are you okay?" And I go, "Who is this?" He said, "It's Bob." I think he's in the police station trying to set me up, right?
Yeah.
I said, "Bob? Bob who?" He says his last name. And I said, "So what's up, man? What are you doing today?" I just act like it was a normal day. And he goes, "Hey, I'm trying to talk to you, Ted." He goes, he said, "You got away, obviously, right?" I said, "What are you talking about, man?" He goes, "Last night with the bike, man." I said, "I don't know anything about a bike, bro."